Okay, so today we're going to be ranking every single UR character in My Hero Academia Ultra Impact, specifically for the new PvP game mode, Ultra Arena. I'm going to go through every character briefly and tell you why they are good or why they are bad. Now, this tier list specifically is missing two URs, which is UR Mirio and UR Overhaul, and I'll add them into the tier list at the very end of the video, so stay tuned for that. But let's get started straight away here. We're going to just go in order from top left to bottom right. And starting with the yellow Aizawa, for now, I think he's an A. He's a very fast boy. If you haven't seen my video on how to win every single PvP match, I go through and I explain that speed is very important. So him being pretty fast is a good benefit. He can seal, which can ruin the enemy's cohesiveness, because then they can't use action skills and then they can't use skill chains, which is very, very good. And he's quite decently strong. I would say he's not S tier because he only gets his speed boost passive when he drops underneath HP under 50%. That's about it, and he's kind of fragile. That's pretty much it, but using EX skills, you can probably get rid of those problems, right? We got Green Todoroki, which I also think is in A. He has double AoE moves, which is great early on. Late game can be a little bit of a nuisance. He's, green is not like the best typing to bring all the time because a lot of the strong units are red, which we'll go through in a bit. But he's got freeze and he's got burn, which can be very, very helpful. He's just a little bit slow. So right now I'll go into the A tier. Shigaraki, I think is a B. I don't really see him much. I don't use him personally. But at the end game, I think he's best when you put him in the sub lineup because then he gets all of his damage output. But putting him in the first lineup is not so great, but I think he's a very strong unit regardless. All Might, I think is the exact same as Shigaraki, but a little less restrictive because Shigaraki has to verse pro heroes, while All Might can pretty much verse anyone he likes, and he's pretty strong. He can get his plus ultra turn 2, which is great, especially in the sub-liner. I think these two are great for sub-liners, but I wouldn't put them in the main lineup, which is why they're not at, like, A or S. Hawks is a S tier. He is the fastest character in the game. He provides everybody with dodge. Great for the main lineup. Great for sub-lineup as well, if you know that you're going to die really quickly. And he can increase his own speed as well from his skills. So he's definitely really, really fast. And allowing everyone to dodge once can really ruin, you know, the damage output from the enemy, which is great. Red Deku, I'd say, is a C. He is probably like a worse version of like the B characters that we have here. I would say he loses health, which is so annoying. So that's the reason why I would put him in C for now. But he can be very strong if you use him right. And he has that healing ability, so he's not entirely the worst, but again, like, why would you bring him when he, like, loses health when there are other stronger units in there that doesn't do that? Yellow Deku's a D. Just like Deku, but worse. Pretty much. Air Force Deku is probably an A. I don't have him maxed out, so I don't use him personally, but his 3 dodges when you drop underneath 50% is great. He gets a speed bonus when dropped under 50%. He's one of the faster characters in the game, and he can lower the enemy's speed, and he's very, very strong. Now, he can get ruined by taunts because some of his damage is reliant on debuffs and also dodges. That's probably the only bad thing about him, I would say. But being a blue character is very good. Same as Bakugou, S tier. I'd say he is probably the best out of these 3 right now, if I can move them. Bakugou is, again, really, really fast. He gets a speed bonus when over 50% HP. So that means he's actually very good turn 1. He should outspeed pretty much everyone turn 1. And then if you combine it with 2 other characters, hopefully they're fast as well, you should be able to outspeed most of the time with Bakugou. And of course, he's very strong. I put him in the sub lineup personally, just because his moves are very, very good at the end of the game. And his plus ultra is great, or he's a very strong unit, and he's pretty decently tanky as well. Hiroshima is as well as an S tier. I think he's one of the best characters in the game. Like, at the start of the game, I thought he was like, meh. He was like, okay, it's kind of cool. He's kind of cool. But, like, PvP, VE Tower has really shown me, like, this guy is very, very useful. Damage reduction, taunt, he can pretty much tank, like, 2 sets of skills from your opponent as long as you get your damage reductions right. And he's upgraded very good. He's a support and he can counter, which is insane. It's good for like those dodging things because a lot of units that you bring like provides dodge, and he can ruin that by just countering all of the getting rid of all that dodging mechanic. So very, very good, I would say. And he's decently fast as well. I would say he's like a must bring pretty much if you have him. Momo is probably an A. She heals and she debuffs the enemy's speed, which is very good. But other than that, she is pretty useless outside of that. I know if you have a really, really upgraded, she can be actually a very good unit to bring, because I've actually lost to, you know, teams that have this Momo like fully upgraded and very tanky. But if she was like if she's average kind of thing, like upgraded, then she's pretty bad. She's not the best to bring. But she can definitely, you know, change the tides of the battle by the healing and the lowering speed. And she can also remove debuffs, which is good for like countering Todoroki and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure. Green Ochako is in S. She has the same Momo, but like she provides counter and dodge, which is awesome, right? One of the better healers in the game, for sure, for PvP. All for One, I would say, is a high B. I'd say high B. The only issue is that he's the slowest character in the game, I think. But he is got a really good AoE skill, which lowers everybody's skill damage by a hefty amount of percentage, and he's good at getting that cooldown for your skills. So he can actually be really good. It's just that you gotta work around him. You pretty much need to know, like, how am I going to counter a team that's faster than me? That's pretty much it. That's the only issue, right? I'd say he's pretty good for the defending. Next is Purple Deku. I think he's actually a really good card. Probably, like, high A here. One of his skills provides him with a speed bonus, and he gets a grit, which is really, really good. I would personally use him, honestly, if I had him upgraded enough, but unfortunately I do not. So I would say he's actually a very good character to bring. Very bad for PvE, but very good for PvP. I would say put him in the... I'd say put him in the main lineup. He's pretty good for the main lineup. But moving on, Bakugou is a character as well. Kind of like the blue Bakugou, but just a little dumbed down version, I would say. Just a little less useful in the main lineup. He's very good in the sub lineup because, you know, he's strong and he has that speed bonus when your HP is over 50%. You can even put him in the main lineup. I think Bakugou are literally like one of the fastest characters in the game. So I would say actually a very, very good character to bring. Red Bakugou is definitely the worst of the two. He's just a powerhouse. So again, he'd be like somebody you'd bring in the sub lineup. Better than Red Deku because of the fact that he doesn't lose HP. Yellow Todoroki is probably the worst Todoroki in the game for PvP. Other than Burn, which you can counter very easily, he's not that useful, to be honest. I would say he's on the C liner. He's just average. It's not that great. At least the Bakugou's, the red Bakugou is fast as well. Yellow Todoroki doesn't really provide anything else other than like Burn, and he's a pretty weak user as well. So I wouldn't even put him in the sub lineup because other people will out damage him anyway. But moving on, we got Blue Todoroki, which is probably the best Todoroki for PvP. He's not the fastest by all means, but he has damage reduction through his ice skill, and he has a skill damage increase with his fire skill, and he can constrain. And freezing enemies is, you know, can really ruin your opponent's teams because then they can't skill chain for that turn, which can ruin their skill chain, you know, cohesiveness together. So I would say a very, very good unit. Then we have Shinso. You are green Shinso. I think he's a very useless character. I would say D. There's nothing really that he provides other than sealing. No, it's not even sealing. Is it sealing? It's sealing and thing, but like he's not strong at all. And yeah, he's just not that great, to be honest. Don't bring him. Then we have the Red Endeavor. He's an S tier character. Probably one of the best. He's very, very fast. He lowers speed of the enemy. He burns. He's very strong. And he has Grit. Grit is great, so you can survive on that 1 HP, which could, you know, theoretically save you. So, very, very good. And then we have Toga, which I actually don't know. I'd put her B. Bleed's cool, but I haven't really seen her be used, so I'm just going to put her in B. And then we have the UR Mirio and UR Overhaul. UR Mirio will probably be... I think honestly, they're both A's. I think there's some things that ruin it. I think Mirio is better than Overhaul, so I'd probably put Mirio at least the highest of A's, or maybe the lowest of S's. And then Overhaul maybe in the lower side of A. Overhaul is good for the ending battle, but you don't run him in the main lineup. It's not that great. Mirio is good anywhere, so at least that's got him. But I haven't seen much of the top tier players using Mirio. That's why I haven't really... And I don't have Mirio for sure, so I actually don't know how he runs. But every time I verse Mirio, he hasn't been too annoying. The issue is that you can actually take him out in one turn. The issue is his dodge mechanic is not at the start of the turn, and more like after you use a skill or after the turn ends, which is the issue. But yeah, that's going to wrap up today's tier list video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below. If you have any thoughts on my tier list, let me know as well. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel with the notification bell on so you don't miss out on the daily content. But with that said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, stay healthy, stay safe, stay fizzy. Peace out.